Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Aiden West, with your daily dose of C.A.D. I am with my amazing co-host, Christian Shaw.
Hey guys, what's going on? Back for another episode. It's gonna be a fun one.
Of course, every episode's a fun one. And today, David isn't here for an unknown reason, but we have an awesome guest here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, what's up, guys? My name's Micah.
It's nice to
It's
have you,
Micah.
Micah.
Yeah.
So, how's Corona-cation been treating you, Micah?
Boring.
Really common answer.
Yep.
Yeah, not a lot of people see that. I got a couple questions. So I'm gonna ask you just about this Corona part. So what's your first reactions to this getting like school off, or not off, but getting it canceled for a little bit?
Basically, when at first, I was really upset that we had a whole month off because I'm thinking, like, holy crap, we're gonna be so far behind now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same.
And, like, I don't know how we're gonna be able to catch up with this. So. And then once I found out we get another 2 weeks off, I was like, I don't think there's any use to going back to school now. But
And then Regents got canceled and all that
Exactly.
stuff. So I guess next was really, are you scared of it? Like, you're not? Are you scared of it? Do you have any fears, worries? Or like you're fine. Like what's your feeling right now about this, just the virus in general?
You gotta do what you learned in kindergarten. Wash your hands, cover your cough. When you sneeze or cough. It's common sense. I mean, and basically, if you gotta go out, only do if you want to work out, or just go to if you gotta get groceries. That's really it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that approach here. How you're thinking, because a lot of people don't really care, and that's what's really making New York bad. A lot of people don't care, and we're getting really hurt
Yeah,
out here,
exactly.
and now
I
it's
just like
all around New
I
York.
don't know.
It's tough because people won't listen. So the best you can do is keep your friends and family safe by telling them.
Mhm.
And yeah, the big news is that New York City has claimed that their school is shutting down for the year, and Cuomo says, I don't think that happened. What do you think about that?
About like the New York City school shutting down,
Yeah, like, and
supposedly.
yeah,
I mean, this morning, the mayor said we're supposed to shut down, and then during the briefing with Cuomo, he said that like he doesn't have control of that. The governor does. So I don't know if they're
Mm,
really shut down for the year, which in my opinion they might as well.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
yeah.
it's literally the epicenter of basically the world right now. And
and it's
I
also
understand
like
that
the
like
epicenter of the
the
virus.
yeah, basically I understand that the curve is kind of flattening, but then if we open up too soon, like Cuomo said, he said there could be like a second wave.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm worried about.
See, the curve is
Mhm.
flattening, but it's flattening at a high place. So we're still getting thousands of deaths now each day, and then like tens of
Well,
thousands
and
of
how
infects.
many of them are actually corona deaths though? How many of them are
Many,
just
actually.
many
Almost
of them? But I mean,
all of them,
yeah,
actually.
but
You won't just
there's
record
some
them for
case.
different things. They're not falsely
Well,
recording. The U.S. isn't. What Trump's releasing, what Cuomo's
well,
releasing,
there's
that's not fake.
some people are saying they're saying okay, just call the coronavirus death if you suspect that they have the coronavirus.
Well, they're not mostly. That's not most of them. Most of them have
They're
been
telling
tracked
doctors
down.
that.
And, well, there's no reason really for them to discount those. Just added to the hysteria, and there's probably not many, and they wouldn't add it if
Exactly.
they
There's
didn't
not a
have.
reason why they should do that.
But
And have you
doesn't mean
guys
they
like
are.
also seen
No,
like
look it up. Dude, it's on the
New
news like
York City is
yesterday
like
or the day
building
before.
like a giant hole
Yeah,
for
they're
like all
making a
the
mass grave.
coronavirus?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
They've have been using mobile morgues. They've been using tractor trailers to haul bodies. So there's a lot of deaths, and the
It's
curve.
crazy.
I don't think the curve is looks like it's flattening, but I don't think it actually is because no one's listening still, and the bodies keep stacking up. So to me, I don't think it's really flattening, at least for deaths. Because if I'm seeing a
Mm.
mass grave being dug, mobile morgues, tractor trailers full of bodies, I don't know. I think I would think twice about just saying, "Oh, it's gonna be all right. The curve's flattening." Because those bodies are, I don't know. They sway me in one direction.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that. I can't remember the news site, but they said that. Uh, I think it's the CDC's prediction of how many deaths in New York City was gonna hit was like way too high, and it was actually way lower than when they thought. And then like the next day, freaking deaths skyrocketed down there. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
We have almost,
so
It makes
like
sense though for New York City to close. I mean, their school because it's a city. Like
but there's a lot of
it's one
cases
of
around here too. Actually, our cases are
yeah,
running
there's
like
like
by.
over 100, close to 150 now here, right?
yeah,
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 and that's what we know of because we haven't been getting all of our. We haven't been getting a lot of information about when, where. So there's probably more, and we're not seeing it or being told about it.
yeah. Sadly,
Yeah.
but I saw this. Ron Paul called on Trump to fire Dr. Fauci. Um, he said some were trying to have total control of the people. So I thought that was interesting that Ron Paul um, wanted to get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
He just sees a problem with like these kinds of scenarios where a crisis happens and then the government comes in and just um, starts taking away rights for a
Yeah.
small amount of time or a long period of time. So I
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
thought that's pretty interesting.
Hello?
David.
We're in the middle of recording.
Well, no,
I'm sorry.
we're just starting. We're just starting. We're good.
I'm sorry. I wasn't ready for just at all. I just wasn't ready. So I was a little late. I was with my brother.
It's alright.
But now I'm here.
It's awesome.
Can't wait to edit. That's gonna be the fun part for me. All right,
If you don't mind me asking, what's the topic of today?
we're still not there yet.
Oh,
Not
we're not.
there. Yeah, we're doing the COVID news right now.
Yeah. So
Ah, nice.
there's still a lot of cases here, and the curve isn't really. I don't think it's flattening.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
It's
I
I
mean,
gonna be
think
a
like
while.
today,
it seems like it's
Cuomo
slowing
said there's
down.
like
Yeah.
784 dead today, something like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
hey, Micah.
we're having a lot of deaths every day, and like
Hmm.
I feel like so it could be slowing down. Like the curve isn't because basically we had a giant jump, so it's hard to keep like
Hmm.
emulating that. So it may look like it's slowing down. It's like it's gonna flatten, but it's still gonna be going up just at a slower rate after that initial like
Yeah.
spike. It's just gonna keep rising and rising, unless we start like taking more action and getting more stuff done. So like the
Yeah.
curve isn't really flattening. I don't think schools should be going in. I think the mayor had the right idea of closing their schools, and
Yeah,
what
I
I
agree.
think is gonna happen is Cuomo is gonna make a release sooner or later, closing either all the schools or part of it, and then later closing it. And I think it's either gonna be the next week or the week after. So like
Yeah.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
how
He's
he's
definitely gonna
been
do it. I think he's.
yeah
I'm sorry.
no you're
He's
fine
definitely gonna. He's definitely gonna do it, but I feel like he's gonna do it a little last minute.
yeah it's
Yeah,
gonna
like
do it last minute.
what he's been doing recently and what I've been finding out is that he's doing it like the week before we're
For
supposed to go
yes
back. So
he
I'm expecting it
Yeah.
like that. I'm,
it's
not gonna
systematically
be
he's
wait,
it's like every
thinking
two
next week.
weeks basically he extends it 2 weeks and then
Yeah.
waits.
Mhm.
So that's what's been
Which
happening.
I don't get. I don't like that.
No, it's like
Yeah,
it's being
I
a way
completely
to,
understand.
and it's like being more reactive than
Proactive.
yeah, he's being more
Yeah,
reactive, just to react. You
yeah,
should be more proactive. You don't want to have these deaths still climbing. Instead of I can be proactive. Just close everything down for for a longer period of time, and
yeah.
if we can open things back up early, because you can always open stuff up early, but you can't close it.
Hmm.
Like you can't just do that. It's harder to It's
Yeah.
harder to close than to open up. So he should have just said
Yeah.
everything's done for this a long period of time. But
Hmm.
I
right
mean, like,
now,
there's like,
So it's
well,
really killing our
don't get me
economy.
wrong. Like, places in the South, like, I'm
some of
pretty
them are
sure,
being
like,
rough.
Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Kansas, all those schools closed down for the year.
Yes,
But
they
then
did.
if you look at it, they like end in like mid May. So
Yeah. So, but they're ending, and they're just gonna be starting back up. So they basically are doing like if we ended during that time, like they're already ended by now, at least almost. So
Yeah.
this going through April is basically them being closed, but they're still closing is the thing, and that's like more than 2 months. We've only had almost a month,
Yeah,
basically
I
a
really
month.
don't have a problem with their school closing all the way now. At this point, I really don't care.
But
I'm enjoying this coronacation. Super relaxing, giving me energy.
Coronation.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
a
having I'm
yeah
having a really good time, man. A really good time. Not gonna lie.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
So,
think the one thing that's gonna happen for like people around here and like like upstate, I think it's gonna be more harsh on us because like right now you can see like we're having more assignments to do and they're being graded even though there's a chance of it being ended, so we're getting like basically blasted with work at home that might not even
Mhm.
really count in the end. So like
Yeah.
yeah, 'cause it's
Yeah.
New Hartford. It's New Hartford. What do you expect?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, like,
Christian,
uh,
shut up.
and the other thing is that like there's like other schools around this area that are already like preparing for like graduation, like changing the
yeah
date, and like New Hartford really isn't doing much about it. They're just kind of like, oh, we'll find out sooner, and we'll give you
Yeah.
more information later. Which
yeah
I don't
their
know. For me,
reaction
like,
is bad. They're
yeah,
not doing a great job.
exactly,
Just like let's give our kids more work and then
Hmm.
for a morale boost let's make a low quality video and send it to them.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, that
exactly.
video.
It was terrible. They're not doing
That video, honestly.
New Hartford. That just really shows that they don't really care. It's most about
Yeah.
like to me. It seems
Mm,
like they just want to get results. It's like oh
Yeah.
if we get some bad grades, people aren't doing as well. Then I guess our school's not gonna be as good anymore. Even though it's a public school still,
Hmm.
they're
mm-hmm.
acting more like a private school, even though they are public,
Yeah.
which is kind
Hmm.
of sad. But we'll have to
Yeah.
see. We're probably gonna have to tough it out. But there are other schools that are doing something stuff similar to it. But it's tough. So we could be one of the last ones to cancel out unless Cuomo makes a decision
Yeah.
say everything's
Yeah.
gone. Cause he can do that. And he said it himself. He can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Honestly, that video was not worth my time. My dad called me all the way up from my room while I was in the middle of an insane gamer moment, and he goes, "David, David, David, watch this." Oh,
Insane
it's got
gamer
to be
moment.
something good. And he was like, and then he doesn't even tell me how long it's gonna be. It's a 5 minute video of teachers saying like a singular word.
I didn't watch
And
that.
then
I
I
didn't even
got
know we.
kicked out of my match, and I was in the middle of like pulling off a really funny gamer moment. It was gonna be a good time. Christian was there. Then nope, just done like that.
Like,
It was
I'm
insane.
sorry, but the best part about that video is probably seeing Mr. Bovey.
Mr.
For sure,
Bovey.
for sure.
The
Yeah,
Bovinator.
I
yeah,
We love that guy. We
Mr.
love him.
Bovey was the only. Yeah, Mr.
Unpopular
Bovey was the
opinion,
only
but I
real.
think that was the best part of the video.
Yeah. I didn't even
Yeah,
watch
it
it, but I
really
agree.
was.
I agree. I didn't even watch it, but
I
You
think
didn't
Mr.
watch
Walters
it?
was the best. But that's just
I didn't
me.
even know it existed until now.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, there's another thing that's been happening a lot because some class has been having Zoom meetings. You guys know about
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
my
get
brother
those
does them all the
soon.
time.
So now we have a new epidemic of sorts of Zoom bombing.
What?
Yes. Yeah, have you
Mhm.
seen
Oh
that?
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So who people don't know, Zoom bombing is when people who are literally have the IQ of above a walnut can go into calls randomly. So go into random calls. So it's been happening a lot that like classes and other like live events, people like quote unquote trolls or just random people come in and start making mayhem. So like you have one
Mhm.
person, two, three, four,
Yeah.
five, or like 20, and it's been
Yeah. Honestly, I've watched some YouTube videos. There's some of them are pretty funny, but honestly, realistically, being in the situation where you're trying to learn and like get feedback from your teacher, it's annoying. It's irritating. But like,
honestly I would want that to
from
happen if I had one.
but from an outside view, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very funny. I would be so happy. Like I have an online banquet here coming up because we can't have a real banquet, so we're gonna do it on a Zoom call. So
Really?
either yeah,
And virtual trophies.
yes, we are doing virtual
Two
trophies.
words.
So
Yes.
So I'm kind of praying that I can get some random people to come here from like Zimbabwe to give me an
Yeah.
exorcism here. But it's
Oh my
Hello.
gosh.
Fire.
they go fire over your butty. Like I hope that happens, you know, so I can get rid of the old sex demon. You know, like I really want to get
Fun
rid of.
stuff, man.
Yeah, I gotta get the Ugandan priest in here. That's all I want, you know.
Ah, yes.
And
Yep.
also, like,
That's all we all want.
It's all I
That's-
need in life.
honestly.
That's all I ever wanted.
So tomorrow's Easter too. And it's weird
Oh, yeah.
because no one can go out shopping for Easter to fill up their Easter baskets. That's
Yeah,
probably
it's like that, and I
It's so
can't like
depressing.
go see family or something.
Yeah,
you know?
that-
It's like so
Yeah.
weird not having an Easter dinner without like any other family members.
or
And it's, you
not
know,
even
for-
having an Easter dinner if you weren't prepared enough. Then you're probably not gonna have like a usual Easter dinner. Like we didn't have like everything. We used to had the ham, you know. That's the best
Yeah.
Oh
part
yeah,
for
we
me.
have the ham.
Yeah,
and-
it is.
yeah, I got mashed
Oh, I
potatoes and
love
stuff like
ham.
that.
Yeah, of course. I would say ham is probably one of the best meats. I would say ham and
By far. Ham,
steak.
steak.
Yeah, those are like the top two for me. I really like.
You said.
Yeah.
Actually, ribs. I love ribs as well.
I don't
And
think
pulled
ribs.
pork.
Pulled pork's good,
Ribs
but
and pulled pork.
it's not good as ham. Ham just hits. It hits different.
Hits the spot. Yeah.
If I had to
Yeah,
make
I
an
like ham.
if I had to make an official top 3 list or top 4, like ribs up top, pulled pork, basically the same thing, but that would be next. Then it would be ham. Then it would be steak, and those are the really good stuff.
You eat pulled pork on a bun, so you have pulled pork sandwich, or just pulled pork straight
Yeah.
up with a fork.
Both.
What's better?
Interesting.
I actually no. I really like ribs, but I don't think I think I'd rather have like ham and steak over pulled pork. Pulled pork would be 4th on my list actually. I gotta start making an official list.
These are very shocking events here, folks. You see here, David has not only had an epic gamer moment, but also prefers eating pulled pork both with a fork like a madman and on a bun like a sane person.
Actually,
Honestly,
I didn't
bro-
have a gamer moment because my dad interrupted it with the stupid video.
He was in the middle of
You know what?
having an epic gamer
Guys,
moment.
you know what? You guys think pulled pork or ham is good? Try bat soup.
Oh, that'll
Yeah.
kick you. That'll put you
My
in the right
people
place.
know all about that.
I don't know
Actually,
if it's your people, Michael.
yeah, I don't
but
think your people know
ancestors,
about
I
it.
guess.
I don't think the Italians
They're
eat
not
pulled
ancestors, but
bat
related.
soup.
I'm not
Yeah,
Italian.
I mean, Italy's getting hit like they did.
Dude,
Yeah,
like,
but
what's
I
the
mean,
most
they
not
were.
Italian
bad
person I
soup.
know?
The Chinese did.
He's
That's
the
what we're
most
talking
Italian
about. The
person I
Dude,
kung
it's
know.
the
flu.
Spanish
Sorry,
flu.
anyone, but
Okay, the Spanish flu
The
didn't
kung
come from
flu.
Spain.
Wait. Is calling coronavirus the kung flu or anything going to be like a thing where like only like black people can say the N-word? Only Asian people can call it
Whoa!
that
No,
kung
no, no,
flu?
no, no, no. Christian and I were talking about this last night, and I guess we should say it because there's Chinese propaganda going that we started it, even though it's blatantly false. So I agree that we should all be calling it that just because of what they're saying, just to
Yeah,
counter
it's absolutely
propaganda.
insane. It's absurd.
Because everyone loves Chinese propaganda. Because
Oh,
communist
yes.
China
you
Communism.
want
is
to know what's
always
better than
great.
Chinese propaganda? North Korean propaganda.
Yeah, it's the
You
best
mean
propaganda
truth?
out there.
You mean truth?
Nah,
It's not
North
propaganda,
Korean
it's
is
truth.
a close second to Soviet Union.
That's
The
true.
Soviet Union's no more, David. At least China and North Korea still are functioning.
Yeah, they're still around.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about this stupid Russia. Oh, I'm sorry, David.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, buddy.
I don't know whether to be offended or whether
Okay.
to kick you in the teeth.
Teeth.
Maybe a little bit of both.
See, we're having so many developments here. David has had so many plot character development here. He's really blossoming into a real boy. He went from a prepubescent Call of Duty player to now an epic gamer, a fighter.
Wait. Did you just call me a Call of Duty player?
Prepubescent furry
Listen,
Call of Duty player.
I really, if I really just played Call of Duty, I wouldn't take offense to that. But for the fact that it's being used as an insult, as in Call of Duty players are small brains and just idiots, I will take offense to that because I play a lot more than just Call of Duty. I'll have you know. Actually, if I'm gonna be dead honest with you, I'm actually right now playing some DayZ. So Call of Duty player.
I'm saying that you
too
became
much.
better. You evolved into something better.
Yes.
Ah, Then yeah,
It's character
that's true.
development. Then I still think some of that COD. You still have a bit of COD brain, but that's all right. That's all right.
A
Oh,
little bit.
thanks, man.
You're
Thanks.
welcome. All
You know
right,
what? Just for that, I'm gonna smack this zombie with the nailed bat.
go ahead. So, I guess it's about time we get on to our main topic, and everyone except David. Everyone except David knows what it is. David, would you like to take a guess, real quick?
Let's hear it.
Uh,
Go on, spit it out.
I
You got
don't
this.
know.
It's Micah's percentage of Chinese.
Are
3.
we talking about
a failed abortion.
huh?
He still doesn't get
Uh,
it. Wow.
I don't. I don't.
I just said
Man.
it.
It's alright. Today's topic is abortion. Good try, David.
Yeah. Micah just said it as well. I heard him say abortion. I was like, wait, what is that relevant? Oh, I'm an idiot. Yep.
Yeah. David hates women's suffrage and
No, I don't. Shut up.
he hates the suffering of women. So
Wait,
He hates the
David's
suffering.
David's a woman? Wait. This is news to me.
no,
Wait,
he
David,
hates
Oh,
the
no,
suffering
David's a
of women.
transgender
Shut
now?
up.
Wait.
Micah,
Wait, is
shut
this
up.
like wait, hold on.
Hey, Micah tranny transgender.
First of all, he's a furry, okay? That's the first
Yes,
thing
there's
you
a
gotta know.
difference.
He's a furry, not a tranny. Okay?
Yeah.
No, that's even worse. I'd rather be a tranny than a furry. I'm honestly not gonna lie.
Whoa.
Fur, honestly,
I'm
for
with
me,
you, man. I'm
furry
with
is the
you.
lowest of the low.
Yeah.
Furry
I'm with you,
is
tranny.
just
Then
honestly
take off
just
your
terrible.
fursuit, David. We all see it.
If a fursuit ever shows up in my house, I will burn
You
the
put
house
it
down.
on.
I'll burn the house down.
Okay.
Trapping the furry inside. That's honestly the lowest of the low as you can get. People were complaining over like I don't know, genders and stuff like that. I don't care too much about, but like furry, no,
boy.
could be gone.
That's where David draws the line.
He
people.
draws-
This is where I draw the line. Furries.
Now, what exactly is a furry?
No, we're not. Please, let's not get into this.
That's for another day.
That's for
We'll
another
We'll
day,
include that
Micah.
in the-
You can
We'll
hop
include that in
on.
the transgender episode.
No, that's a different thing. But
maybe.
all right,
Okay.
I'm gonna interview Micah, and then we can open it up with my questions here. So my first question, Micah, is we let you choose a topic and recommend a topic, and this was the one you seem interested in a lot. So why were you particularly drawn to this topic to discuss on the podcast today?
For me, it's like just this topic. It just means a lot for me personally. Because I won't go too deep because just with my background, it just means a lot for me.
Yeah.
And and I'm not saying I'll say my opinion. I'll say my opinion now on abortion. I don't believe in it at all. I think it's wrong, but nor do I think the government should say whether or not you could have an abortion, in my opinion.
Yeah, totally.
But I just, from my background and my story of coming here, it's just that it means a lot for me because even though in South Korea back when I was born, it was illegal to have an abortion.
Hmm.
I still really think that if my biological mother didn't want me, she still could have probably had like a backstreet abortion or something.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have been here, if she did have
Mhm.
one, of course. So, and that's why I just feel so strongly kind of against it.
Yeah, I get that.
Mhm.
Okay. So I guess the first thing is, so do you believe that right now we're all males, except David? David, we don't know about, but
Shut
Dave's a
up.
furry.
do you think we should also have a woman talking about this because really, because it affected you directly, and but at the same time, it's your body, but it really is mostly about a woman's body. You think a woman should really be included about this right now? If we had another guest, do you think we should have one?
Yeah, if we did have another one, I think it would still be good to see like a woman's perspective on it. And I'm not trying to be like biased or anything, but just see someone who thinks their own way, not a certain, just someone who really, that either has like a story like me or something like that.
Yeah,
I
that's what I
just think
feel
it'd
is
be
fair.
good.
So, do you think? I know, like, to me personally, I don't feel like I should have a real good say because it hasn't really directly affected me, and it hasn't really directly affected most of us on here, except you, and none of us are female except David, for who we don't know
Shut
what it is.
up.
But like, none of us
Let's lay
have a
off David for a
uterus,
minute.
and none of us are gonna be giving birth, for what I know right now. So, do you think we really should have a, even though we all have a say, do you really think it's fair for us to, how do I put this, like project and try to influence other people to believe what we have to say, even though it doesn't really affect us?
Well, I just think that it's kind of hard to say.
That's a fact.
Of having an abortion has to do with rape or incest. Not saying that 1% doesn't matter at all, because it does. But I just think that I think the male not should enforce it on the woman, but I think they should be able to say their opinion whether or not they should carry through with the abortion or not.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, let me continue on. So I get what you say. Like, it should really be the woman's choice ultimately. So first of all, do you think the parents should have any say in this? That's one of the bigger things. Do you think the parents should have a say? Because that's one of the debates in this huge topic.
All parents. I
With a
mean,
parent, for me
it
personally,
depends.
um, I think, like I said, I don't think they should really enforce it, but they should at least try to talk to them, say their opinion, and not like enforce it, but just let them have their piece and say, and how they believe on it, and just have the woman make the choice from there. But
Mm-hmm.
I think I think a little bit sometimes everyone should have a little say into this, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. But
And I'm not
really,
saying
yeah,
at all that, and we're not like including the government, making laws or anything.
yeah.
I just think that I think everyone should have a little say, and then the woman can make that choice. Just my
Make the
opinion.
final choice. Yeah. Okay. I'm starting to get where you're standing here. So I kind of get it why you feel it's wrong. It's pretty obvious, but like, what makes it feel just like wrong to you? Like, what's the main thing that really just says this is wrong? We shouldn't really be doing this.
I just think it's wrong because that with me being adopted and
Mm-hmm.
me coming here and living like such a good life and knowing you guys, I just truly think that I mean, if you had an abortion, the baby just can't come back to life and live a full life. That was the mother's choice to. I don't know how you feel if whether it's killing or not, but in my opinion, I think you killed the baby. And
Hmm.
whether it's only 6 weeks old or like maybe 7 months old, I think as soon as you can see it and a scan, then it's a baby. I think whether it's like a little tiny or it's like almost about to be put into this world. Um, and I truly believe that. I think, don't get me wrong, adoption, it's expensive to do and to
Mm-hmm.
try to get a baby. I understand that. I just think that if you can carry it for the 9 months, then try to carry it for the 9 months and then put it up for adoption. And yes, it's a lot of paperwork, and to try for someone to try to get the baby, that can be a lot of money. But I think if you can carry through the 9 months, do it, then put it up for adoption, because then maybe you could give it a better life instead of ending.
Yeah. So let me make another point here, just to add in. So it's you're talking about adoption a lot. So there's a lot of kids who don't get adopted and who get put into
Yeah.
adoption at very like older ages, and they basically get to sit there for most of their lives,
Hmm.
if not in foster homes, and they don't really get a true family.
Said.
So they don't get like everything that these other kids do. So and a lot like not a lot of people adopt. It's like it's not as much as it should be because there's a lot of kids always in foster homes and ready to be adopted. There's always people ready to be adopted. And it's sad because most of
Hmm.
those kids don't get adopted. Like to me, I'm putting this in terms of like when I think of it, I think of uh like kennels for dogs because everyone wants a puppy, you know?
Yeah.
And no one really
Yeah.
wants this older dog who's been already trained, he's all good, but he's just older. No one wants an old dog even though
Yeah.
they're they still
Well,
have a life,
some
they still have
people do.
feelings. Most want a puppy. If you ask most people, I
Mm.
believe they would rather
Yeah.
have a puppy. And that's the case
Yeah.
with kids in adoption. Most people are going to be going for the babies. But there's these other older kids who really just get to sit and rot in foster homes without saying
It said.
they just don't get a family and they feel unloved. They get mental diseases. They get these kind of complexes where like, oh, I'm useless. Not no person
Oh
really wants to
yeah.
make me into my family. So why should I even bother living? So they could most easily take their lives or try to, and that's like a thing that's probably been happening. So would it be better? Do you think in some cases, like if the mother knows, like I don't think if I'm gonna try to raise it, but I don't think I can. Would it be better for her just to say I don't think I can, and I don't want to risk having a child being in almost agony for most of its life?
Yeah. I think when you talk, when you put into those kind of terms, I think we should all bring it back to the starting point where, and I don't mean to exclude rape or incest by saying this, but if you're gonna have sex, I just truly believe you know, you gotta think ahead a little
Gotta
bit
be
and say,
prepared.
what happens if I turn out becoming pregnant,
Mhm.
with a baby? What do I do then? I think people gotta look at, when they have sex. I know some people are just, they're like just want to do it and they don't think it'll come out. But I think like if they don't want to have a baby, you, you gotta wrap that rascal, and I just
So you're saying
you
be
gotta look
Mhm.
at
responsible.
that point.
It's gotta be protected.
Yeah. It reminds me actually of a time where Christian, you actually had a debate on this in class,
Yeah.
and this
Well,
one girl actually
um,
brought up a really good point that like if you're not ready to have a baby and you don't want to have a baby, don't have sex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's just I mean, I understand maybe maybe kids are just sexually active, but if you want to play the safe route, put a condom on it, and
But that's not
you
really a
know,
guarantee.
yeah, I know it's
or
not a
just be abstinent.
guarantee. I understand that, but that's just more of a
Safer.
safer way of doing it if you do want to, and that I, again, it just has to go back to you really thinking, is
What
it gonna be
happens?
worth to have this 2 or 3 minutes of joy, and then turn out 9 months later and have a baby?
Yeah, yeah. So you keep saying you're excluding rape and incest. So what's your feelings on that part?
With that, I mean, like I said, I don't mean to make it, make it not valid, but it's it's 1% of like basically like a reason why someone would have an abortion, and I just think that I know of course it's mentally hard to do, and mentally hard to go through it knowing that you were raped, or your cousin had sex with you or whatever. But like I said, if you could just carry it the 9 months and go through it, then I would really try to. And then if you got put the baby in a foster home, try to do it, and hopefully it finds a home somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, I totally get that. So I get this for the rape part. I totally understand. But with the incest part, that to me is completely different because I would say 9 times out of 10 that baby's gonna have deformities, and it's gonna be in pain,
Oh yeah.
and it's gonna be either mentally just not just gonna be mentally damaged, or it's gonna be physically damaged. I don't think that I think it should really be the better option. To me personally, it would be better to abort during incest, just because that's putting a that's directly 9 times out of 10 you're gonna be putting a child who's basically a monster to society out. And I'm not saying these deformed people are monsters. I'm just saying that's how people will see them, and that's how they'll be treated, which is
Yeah.
disgusting. But it's sad to see someone go through
I
more
think it depends on
pain.
the person how they treat them.
Oh,
I
of
don't think.
course,
I
but
think
there's most
society's
people
better than that.
will. I don't think actually,
Yeah, children probably treat them like that, but
and
not
adults do too.
adults.
Actually,
Wait, hold,
Yeah,
are you
some
just are
adults
you
will.
are you interviewing each one of us, or are we all supposed to be?
I'm just talking to Mike right now, but I
Okay,
get what
I
you're
was just
saying.
making sure.
So right now, I feel like those kind of things that happen with incest should be more controlled, and it's rough because, like I said, it's still a human life. But would it be worth it to have a life suffer for so long rather than have it not even start?
That's that's like a really hard decision to make.
All right, Micah, do you believe life has value?
I mean, yeah, of course. I think everyone has I don't mean to get religious. I think, God has a plan for everyone. And I think,
So do you deserve everybody? Do you think that everybody deserves a chance at life?
yes, I do. But like quickly, I just want to answer Aiden's question.
Okay.
Um, with incest, I'm gonna go back to this. I think that should be, since incest, there should be a family discussion, and then the family can decide from there. I That's how I feel.
Well, Ian, my dad had students. He's a teacher. He said students that came out due to incest, and most of them were perfectly fine. They just had a couple issues about, but like
Deformities.
other, I think it just really depends on the case, man.
Hmm.
Back
But
to Mike, I
most
guess.
cases, there's deformities that affect them. Like, oh, they're fine, but they only have a couple deformities. And those deformities
No,
tear
not
that
physical, not physical. He's talking about just a couple, like a little bit, like
mental.
a mental problem, just a
You
little
know,
bit.
mental problems show up physically. I'm not trying to be mean, like trying to call out anybody, but like saying, oh, they just have mental problems. I would say that's worse actually, because that means
Yeah.
they're looked down upon even more, and they can't do stuff. They constantly need help, and that makes them
No, I mean
like
they're just a little bit on the
And they
slow side,
and
just a little bit on the slow side.
the worst
you
part
don't
about
know
having like a
that
mental thing
really.
is that they don't even really understand what they're doing.
Like they're
Yeah,
in a
my
different
dad's
Where
had
like
world.
multiple
physical, their
students.
mind's there. It's just
Yeah.
that they may have a physical problem, where their mind is just like not there.
It's not,
Not
Well,
yeah,
trying.
and they
Ian, if you're
can't do
gonna say
anything.
that, I mean, they're just a little bit on the slow side. So if you're gonna, do you think people? I don't know, man.
Do you know that for
I don't
sure?
look.
Do you know exactly what they are?
Yeah,
You
My
met those
dad said they
people?
were.
You met them
My
personally?
no, I haven't met them, but my dad had them for like
Telephone
um
game. I don't like. You can't.
for the year they had them. He had multiple students that were born out of out of
Direct incest. So like
yeah,
first
out of
cousin.
incest, and they were just a little slow. I don't see any problem with that.
Yeah, that's the lucky
What about
case.
I
what
just
about
think
people in our grade that are
now.
slow?
I just think with like, I mean, don't it's really hard having like, I mean, I don't have experience, of course, but I just think it has to be hard to go to school every day and, kids making fun of you, of course,
Yeah.
And like
That's a
it could be
thing.
like the smallest thing and kids would still do it because they're
Oh yeah, for
kids,
sure.
like
And
us,
then with the internet now, it
And
makes
that's
it so
gotta be
much
hard
easier
to do, and
to
I
for people
understand that.
to be people
Sad,
taken
no?
advantage of. Okay, so I like how you're putting this, Micah. It's always dependent, like, because with this, it's really family sensitive, and I like that you truly grasp that, and it's tough. Like this is especially tough because each case is different, and there's a lot of specific details that go into factoring what is really happening, and it's really tough. So I guess a real big picture is, should the government really be putting laws in for this, or like restricting it, or like do you think government should have really any say, or some say, or all say?
I think the government should keep their hands off this topic, and I think it really goes down to the case and what, like I've been saying this a lot, on what the family thinks and what the woman decides to do. I don't think they want the government should be saying you can't have an abortion or can't have abortion. The government's job is to make sure that the people are safe while going to abortion. I mean, I get that, you're basically killing someone, in my opinion, but
They're supposed to protect our rights. Yeah, Micah, they're supposed to be protecting our rights. And among those rights are the rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
I'm not hearing Micah
So,
right now. He's cut out for me.
Oh no.
did you hear me?
Yeah, no, I can.
Oh, you can now. All right,
Mhm.
that's good.
Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Oh,
All right.
bad.
What I was saying is that the government should basically just keep their hands off this
Yeah.
topic. And I mean, whether you believe in abortion or not, I just think that the
It's
government should just keep their hands off
it's,
this.
it's more of a family
interesting.
matter, and I like,
Interesting.
and that's I feel specifically that way too, because it's really up to the family, and
Mm-hmm.
really, because should a bunch of like extreme feminists or whatever be having a say whether they have or not? Because both sides have extremists, and these both like
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
radical
of course.
sides are both terrible. They do bad things. They harass lots of people. They could physically harm them, and the people away that protesting this are pretty bad usually. So I don't like these people, like the extremists at least, are having like a negative effect in both ways. Because like really, they could one side could harm just a neutral person and make them go to the other side and make them
Yeah.
biased.
Mm-hmm.
So do you?
Oh
So
yeah,
like
it
people are
happens a
looking at the
lot.
government to like solve this problem. Say either do this or this. How do you think the government should really react to this kind of like outburst? Because there is lots of uh radicals, I guess, for each side.
Yeah. Well, I guess that, and of course, you go outside you drive past the Planned Parenthood in Utica, and you see a bunch of crosses out there and stuff like that. In my opinion, as much as I'm against abortion, I would never do that because don't Planned Parenthood. Yes, they can perform abortions, but they still have some other things that people can go to, and I don't think for people to stand outside and mock someone for walking inside a Planned Parenthood building because they automatically think they're not having an abortion if they do, which I don't think is right at all.
That's not what they.
And
That's
the
not the only
government
place.
should, and I think in my opinion, the government should, I mean, it's hard to say on what the government should do in this kind of case. Um, eh, I think the the government should just really just keep their hands off this. And the other thing I don't understand is that I don't. This is not going to a whole different topic, but
All
I
right, so
don't
you think
see
abortion should be
why the
legal?
government is
Hold on,
like
Christian.
funding Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, that's it's. Well, Planned Parenthood is only about abortion. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
just go in Planned Parenthood. You're gay. That's all they do is abortion, abortion. They do
That's the
other stuff.
majority of what they
exactly.
do.
That's what I.
That
That's
that's
the
I
not the
think
majority of
point.
what
that's
That's
they
just
not
a
do.
the point,
bad
Christian. It's a
representation of
bad
Planned Parenthood.
representation.
Don't get me wrong. They may do abortions, but I think as
They
you see people that walk inside a Planned Parenthood, people automatically think they're going for abortion, which I don't think that's
they
right
could
to
be
do
going
because
for
then you're
actual
judging
help.
someone.
They could go for
Yeah.
And
help.
I,
That's
you
what this.
know,
That's what it's for. Is to help out people to plan out how to have a
hmm
baby and what's gonna be like. That's the actual place. And if worse comes to worse, you get an abortion there. That's what they're there for. Is to
No,
plan out.
they usually, pretty sure they push abortion there. I mean, that's what they mainly do.
You've been there.
I mean, I'm sure they do a little bit of the other stuff, but that's
They're there to make money. Like
yeah,
abortion will make them money. So
yeah. How else do they
possibly.
make money?
They get
They
money
don't make.
either way. They get money giving consultations. You have to pay
Yeah,
for the
but the
services.
majority of what they do is abortions.
Not a majority, but
All right,
it's a
think
part.
about this. Since abortion was legalized in the U.S., I think it was like 1974. There have been over 60 million abortions.
Okay.
Think about that. They're the
So
people that do it.
yeah.
That's what they do.
So
That's
would
the
you rather
majority
have
of what they
children
do.
on the street suffering and being starving? Would you rather have that?
We have it anyway.
Yes, you want to fill the streets then?
Oh wait, hold up. Are we gonna start interviewing me now or?
No,
what's-
you decide to interrupt, so
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
asking you.
Okay.
Would you rather have the streets be filled with impoverished
Um,
children with no families just starving?
Me personally, I believe that all human life
Even if they're
has
suffering and their whole life is
has
full of it.
value, has serious value, and I think that every human deserves life,
Even
uh,
if they'll just
no
die
matter what, man.
prematurely? You think
I mean,
that's really
if
fair
that
to them?
happens, it happens. I mean, we have people helping those people out. We have,
But you said
our
60
churches.
million, okay? 60
No, I'm
million
just
is
saying
a lot. So let's say all those
that's a
children
lot
are
of
out.
people.
And there's not enough
No, I'm
families
just
to
saying.
keep all those fosters.
I think it's horrible. It happens to those kids. Like if kids are out starving or whatever, it happens. But I don't think I think that all human life has value. So
yeah.
I think every human deserves a shot.
See, I can get
I mean,
that.
in the U.S., like it's one of like the I don't know if it's for a fact or anything, but like literally a lot of people can like go from being dirt poor, like not have like much of value like or anything, and like maybe like they find a job or they save up money and everything, and they can go from straight from poor like to like actually like a decent life. Like
Well,
Yeah, it's hard work, man.
No,
My
no,
parents
no, no,
had
no.
my older brother.
well, what I'm saying here is that David's right, but he's talking about people who've already been through schools. These kids aren't going to school because they don't have the parents to pay their taxes to go to school. They're going to be riding out the streets trying to get food to survive. They don't have time for school.
yeah,
Because-
Like, what are we
so-
talking about? Are we talking the kids?
Well, we're talking about like the kids who, basically,
Well, there's something
that
called
didn't
CPS.
have like an abortion, and their parents basically just dropped them off on the street somewhere, and they gotta live their life.
And then
basically.
times that
there's definitely-
60
I don't
million.
love foster care, but I mean, if it's what it's gonna take to save a life, I'll do it any day.
Oh, so you'd rather have a kid be mentally and physically abused by bad foster parents or be left out on the street?
I mean, that's not always the case. You're assuming that's always the case.
That's
not always the case.
it's not really assuming that it's always the case, but it's a possibility.
It's a
I mean,
possibility,
just-
but there's
for me, in
also a
my opinion,
possibility of
Christian,
Micah.
In my opinion, I think like even though it may not be a big proportion of people, but there's still people out there that still have to deal with like abusive foster parents. And,
Definitely.
you gotta.
Dude, I
I-
would take abusive foster parents any day over death. Any day.
Okay. So those. Okay, you say you'd rather take that. So abuse leads up to mental damage, and then mental damage starts racking up, and then you get higher and higher, and now you're depressed, and then it keeps going down,
That happens.
and you keep going down and down, and since you're not getting it home anytime soon because you're grown up and no one really wants you, you're staying in that abusive family, so you're constantly being abused. Your grades are going down.
I mean,
you
there's
have no
there's
friends.
CPS too. Don't forget that.
You think a depressed kid who's being physically abused by their family,
No, I'm just
or
saying,
has no
if you're-
chance, you think they're really gonna think
I'm
about
saying
that?
There's always CPS, dude. I'm just saying.
They're not patrolling the streets every day. They're not
No,
going
no,
in
they're
houses.
not.
Well, they can't. But a student can't go to a counselor. And,
Yeah, they
like,
can go
talk
to a
them.
counselor.
You think
Our
so?
counselors
Depressed people
encourage it.
don't do that. That's the thing. People with depression don't show it until it's too late. Until they
They tell
already
their
killed
friends.
themselves.
They tell their friends.
No, they
their
don't. That's-
friends
those
go
are-
to their parents, so they go to the
Yeah,
counselor.
no. Even if they don't tell their friends can obviously tell.
Yeah.
Actually,
one
no.
way or
Well,
another.
but like,
Eventually,
there's-
but,
if
like
you've
you're
looked
talking
at-
about like
they're
friends and
just
stuff. But what happens if like
Most
you
of
know,
those kids
they're
don't
like in
have
a
friends.
foster home and they really don't have anyone else besides
Guys,
the other
you
foster
guys are just
kids,
picking the
and they
worst
don't know.
situation. All right.
But
How about-
usually it's the
alright,
worst
Micah,
situation. That's what I'm saying here. You're saying like, so you're saying, oh, people who are depressed tell everybody. Actually, no, that's just called being sad. People who say they're depressed are just over exaggerating. People who are depressed put on a smile. They don't say anything. They just act normal. But at home,
Yeah,
they
it's
do
sad.
self
Yeah,
harm.
dude, it's
So
definitely
you
sad.
no
But
one can really tell. They're
should give
not
them a
gonna be
chance.
telling anybody. And usually depression ends up to suicide. And I know because I'm a Christian. I used to read the Bible a lot, and I know that suicide is terrible. That's one of the worst things you can do is killing yourself and taking your own life. And that's what depression
Yeah.
does. It leads to that. And I think that's worse than having no pain at all and you get to live in heaven because you were pure and nothing ever happened. Okay?
So you're a Christian. All right. So Christians all well, as far as I know, I've never met a Christian that doesn't believe that all human life has value.
It does have value, but
Um.
if it's going to happen like that,
So
why
I think no. I think why not give them a chance at life? Why not?
they could
Why not
already
give them the chance? Why are you just gonna why are you gonna take
why
away their
put
life without even giving them a chance, dude?
why put someone through
Like, I think
suffering?
that's
That's
pretty
the
screwed
real
up.
thing. Why put someone through suffering just so they can end it themselves?
There's a chance of suffering. There's a chance of having an amazing life. Micah, you weren't you in the foster? Were you in the foster system, or were you just straight put up for adoption?
Well, when my biological mother, she put me into a foster home,
Yeah,
and then my parents adopted me, and then yeah, so I was basically put into a foster home for a short amount.
yeah. So you got Micah's scenario where he has an amazing family, as far as I know,
Yeah.
and
Yes, they are.
yeah, and he's not depressed, as far as I know.
Well, the thing is,
And
he was adopted as a child. That's why I was going back to my original point. People go for babies because aw babies, like aw puppies. You're not gonna buy
Yeah,
but
an
the
old
point is
dog.
they put him in
it's
the
really
foster
easy.
system.
It's just that what you're saying is not really backed up by anything. Just saying life matters. That's a broad
Yeah,
statement to make yourself look good. That's all I see it as.
no,
You're
I'm
not
just
putting any
saying it's
logic
called
into
Life
it.
Matters. Oh, so are we interviewing me now?
I was trying to interview Micah, but he constantly interrupt me and
Oh,
him.
here, then go on. No, we'll get back to me. We'll get back to me. That's fine.
Now,
Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I agree with Christian. I agree with Christian that all life matters. No matter what circumstance, and um, but I guess in my opinion, it's like hard to say for the kids that that mentally go through something like that, being known that like their
and there's a
parents.
lot of depression and suicide in teens and younger
Yeah,
kids.
that's what I'm trying to get to is that um, I guess like I guess I really don't understand how that feels because for me, how I looked at adoption and maybe how well, let's give an example that we'll go to my story how um I was adopted as a little kid and then a kid grows up knowing that their parents put them up for adoption because maybe that they couldn't financially be supported and then they know that and then they get really sad and then but
Yeah.
I guess in my and how I look at it is that like holy crap, I've been lucky enough to come to America and be able to live like basically live like a king because if I
Yeah.
was stuck in that foster home, I know I would have been thrown out in the street and would have had to live on my own, fight
Yeah,
for
yeah,
myself. So that's why I believe I'm so lucky that I've been chosen to
extremely.
come here
Yeah.
and it's just one of the biggest I gotta say miracles in my life that I've been chosen to come here and
You
I've
won
been
the
grateful
lottery.
for that.
Yeah, you won the lottery, man. And it's really nice to see like
Basically,
that
yeah.
this happens. But there's always that other side of the coin. See,
Yeah,
I've
definitely.
I've been through very low lows. I've talked to Christian about this. See, I haven't bad like the bad childhood. I wasn't adopted. None of that. It's that I didn't have a father mostly growing up because my mother he left my mother. So I was
Hmm.
mostly with my mother, and we basically lived off of very few things, but we always had to make it through, and it was always fine. I always was happy because I got to see my grandparents a lot, and it was all great. And there was only a little bit of low, but then everyone would talk about their dads, and I would say I don't have one, and that would really started something, and that always created a rift in me, saying I don't really have that biological or not even biological. I didn't really have a father figure growing up, and that really hurt.
Hmm.
And then that really just put a scar in me. So when someone would bring that up and say insult to me or my mother, like that would just cut deeper than it should have. And that's what really
Yeah.
happened recently. And I went to a low of lows, and I went to almost going to dramatic measures. I went to the lows, and I got help from friends, and other people and family. And that's why I'm saying this, because I went through hell, and I've been going through hell for most months, almost half a year, and I hate it. But I've been making it through with friends, and
Yeah.
it's hard. And I always would constantly think when I was at those lows, why do I even bother? I know if, because I've been good. Every night I pray every night just so I can be safe, my family's safe, and I always know that I would go to heaven. So why would I rather live this terrible life in suffering just for people to nag down on me when I can just go and leave? Like, it's tough because
I
suffering is
think it.
always worse
Yeah,
than
I think it comes down.
staying there. And that's why it's
Well,
really easy for people to get to this level, because there's so much
yeah,
access to put someone down. And it's really sad. I felt that personally. And that's why I think suffering shouldn't be really tolerated or saying, it's fine. They at least could get a chance not to, even though there's a great possibility, especially nowadays, that it could end up in them taking their own lives, whether it be by a knife, a noose,
so
or a gun. So, and I really
just
get,
said.
I like what Micah's saying, there's always a chance, but he realized, like, Micah, I'm so happy that you're extremely lucky and you realize that and you're thankful. That's what, not a
Mhm.
lot of people can be thankful for what they have, and that's truly humbling to see that you know what you have and you're quite thankful, and you just know, like, this, I would have been on the streets. I wouldn't have amazing friends. I wouldn't have an education. I would just be fending for my life, really, on the streets. And it's just awesome to see these kind of stories
Mhm.
come out.
And I guess that's like the whole reason why that I really feel so strongly against abortion. And don't get me wrong, like say if you I have to say this, like if someone had an abortion, it's not like automatically I'm gonna curse you out and say you're a horrible person
Yeah,
because you
I
killed
agree.
this, this innocent baby. I wouldn't do that to you. That's not who I am, and that's not what I'm called to be. Like, yeah, okay, maybe you had an abortion, but I'm not gonna judge you by it
There's
because
a
that's gotta
reason.
go with you the rest of your life, whether you're proud of it or not. And I just can't. I would never make fun of some, or not make fun of them, but like judge them or look at them a different way
Yeah,
because they performed an abortion.
And a lot of extremists don't think that way. And to me, I'll agree with you. It doesn't seem right to me, but there should always be the option. And, like, it should be said, I don't.
interesting.
Because to me, it should be about making sure that everyone's happy. Why just have this
Mm-hmm.
baby suffer when it could be pure and stay pure? Because they'll have life in heaven, but really, what will it matter if it goes through suffering? Because if it kills itself, it can't go.
Now, um,
But it's
I mean,
So
tough.
you're
I'm
making
not.
the choice for it. You're not giving it free will.
Can it, though?
Well, no, you're making the choice of who are you to take somebody's life.
Okay, so why kill any prisoners then? Okay, Ted
I don't
Bundy
believe in
should
it.
still
I
be
don't believe in it.
alive. If you
Yeah,
say
sure.
that, Ted Bundy should.
Put him in prison. Let him rot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let him
So,
rot.
and do you know what he specifically did? Do you know what he
Yes, he
did
was
to
a
people?
serial killer.
Who did he kill? What kind of people did he kill?
Women.
Okay. And how?
Uh, I didn't look that much into him. I just knew that he
Brutally,
just was
he
a serial killer.
mercifully
Yeah,
killed them, badged their skulls in, ripped them apart. He
yeah.
absolutely mutilated them with
It's
no mercy.
disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
And you believe that he should just be alive, chilling with the other prisoners, for
I think
them to
that
kill
he
him.
should be punished and given prison time.
He's
I
gonna
don't think
have
it makes
prison.
you any better of a
Like this is
person to
how
kill somebody that was killing other people.
So,
And I don't
you
think it
think
makes
we
you
should
any
waste
better to kill.
money? You think we should waste money on keeping a
All right,
disgusting
before we get
lack
to,
of
sure,
human
yeah,
space?
yeah, put him in prison. Hold up. All right, I'll get there, but can we interview me now?
Well, it's what you're
Since we're
saying is
pretty,
that you say people should always have a choice. So,
yeah,
serial killers, You think if Hitler was put on trial, you think he would be allowed to live? You think he should be alive if he was put on trial? You think he should be
Should be put in
rot in
jail.
prison? Oh,
I think he
really?
should rot in prison. Yeah.
Why? He
'Cause I'm
he
pro-life,
helped the
dude.
he helped kill over 6 million Jews, and not only
Yep.
Jews but also a couple million others. You think
Yep.
he should still be let to
It's
live?
absolutely disgusting. Evil.
And he should be allowed to live.
Yep.
So you're saying
So
all
does
He's gonna go
that
to hell.
mean, Christian, does
going
that
to
mean you're
hell.
against the death penalty?
Yeah, I'm against the death penalty.
it's hard to see that because
I believe that all of his.
so Dr.
So
Mengele should
basically,
still
the
be
way I think
alive
about it
even
is,
though
you're no
he
better. If you killed somebody, you're no better than somebody else that killed somebody. That's what I believe.
All right, that's fair.
so
That's my Christian standpoint.
but the difference
I believe
is in this
all sin is equal.
the difference is that
Uh,
euthanizing someone is peaceful.
He's going to hell.
So you'd rather waste money, resources, instead of giving that money to the homeless who've done nothing to deserve any
Wait, what do you
badness.
mean? Giving the money to the homeless? What are you talking
We're
about?
wasting
You're
money
talking.
on
So you're talking about wealth distribution?
we're wasting a lot of money on prisons right now and keeping inmates all safe. And like coronavirus right now, a lot of these inmates trying to get our police officers sick and trying to kill them
Yeah.
and give them AIDS.
Horrible.
And
Yeah, I don't.
Well,
Yeah,
wait.
that's horrible. I don't know what to do in that scenario.
so these prisoners should just be like, oh yeah, you get to basically have a life free. Because prison life actually seems pretty great to me. I don't have to pay anything. I just get to sit there for the rest of my
You're not
life.
free.
I get
Crappy food.
I get to eat food. I'm living. I
Yeah.
get to work out every day. I get to read books.
Yeah.
I get a job. You get a
Yeah, it's not fun.
actually it seems actually quite great. I don't have to pay rent. I actually just get to work, buy food I want when I get enough money, and I get to work out every day and I get free food. I get to go to free classes too.
Well, that's you. I would never want to go to prison. But all right. So are you gonna keep an
It just doesn't make sense to me that you think we should be
interview?
wasting money on prison, but really the standpoint that Micah has is quite fair, and I believe that's what most people should have, is that government should just have hands off. And really, there's a lot of different stories, and that's what makes this really specific and hard to deal with.
All right. So
Yeah.
you believe that the government should be hands off of all of the destruction of human life? That's what you believe in.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
That's
abortion.
exactly what you're saying.
It
Yeah, that's
actually
the
isn't.
destruction
That's
of
not
human life.
all. You said all. I did not say all.
Oh, okay.
So
just
I'm not
like,
saying we should
so that's the
have
destruction of
murder
human.
be legal. And
Wait, the murderer is still killing somebody.
So, I get what you're saying there. And really, it makes sense in a way, but it truly doesn't because murder is murder. Sure.
Yeah, it's a legal term.
It's illegal. Yeah. So, no matter what, you should
Here,
murder.
how about let's just save this when we get to my interview because I have a lot to say.
Well, the thing is,
Well, I think we also gotta look back at this. Back in the day, this law's probably been changed. Now, say if like a man, killed the woman that was pregnant, that
Double
used to be
homicide.
a double homicide,
Oh yeah.
because
I
technically you did
remember
kill
that.
two people.
Yeah.
And that's been changed now, which I don't understand why, but. I'm just curious. What do you feel about that, Aiden, and whoever else?
okay, so for me, it's that. So you're saying how I feel about that changed? So
Yeah.
killing a pregnant. So first of all, to me, killing a woman is a far greater crime than killing a man. Women and children should not be really even should nothing should happen to them because they're innocent and not like I'm not looking down on women, but usually women can't. If you see a man against a woman, I usually, unless the woman's like a bodybuilder or something, they're not gonna beat the man.
And the man's like a sick, yeah.
So, but the thing is, I think that it should still be a double homicide, because it's like saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're gonna kill a defenseless person," and then guess what? They're even more defenseless because having a child, being pregnant, actually is a big physical hindrance because you're physically like you're always
Tired.
you have exhaustion, you're always having like nausea. There's a lot of things that goes into it that physically affects you. So it's like killing the
Exactly.
harmless times two. It's it it doesn't make sense why they're not getting the double charge. I
Hmm.
guess in a way because of all of this like debate here about this, but it that to me is like should be charged, either have a new charge or keep it double homicide in the way that
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd
it's
say keep it a double homicide because then again it's two lives you're taking, two human lives. So yeah, I don't know why it's still not a double homicide, but yeah, that's what I think about it.
got anything, David?
Well, I think about the double homicide.
Yep.
Yeah, like the woman, like especially if pregnant, like they're like well, not completely, like
Mostly.
depending. Most like they're really defenseless. Like they can't do much to defend themselves. Like on like if they have like a taser in their purse, yeah, they could like and someone attacks them out in the street, yeah, they could possibly defend themselves a little bit. Well, I guess you could say, but really, like it should be a double homicide because like they're still carrying a baby in them, or what I think, what I believe, like it's a living human baby, like it's in the womb and it's like growing and it's gonna come out of the womb and be a human being just like all of us.
Yeah. So, Micah, I'm really glad you asked us a question. Actually, could I ask you to ask us, see, like, open up the questions to us? Like, what do you want to ask us a couple questions?
Yeah, sure. So I just want to know when do I just
Oh,
one by one, of course. When do you guys think a baby is technically alive and a human?
Oh, a baby is when it comes out of the
yeah.
Mm,
When it comes out of the womb,
that's a
that's,
baby.
yeah, I agree.
So I guess in my opinion on this, I guess I could see the baby as a human once there's like a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's a,
Once there's a heartbeat
So
detected to it,
a
that's when I
heartbeat makes
see
it
it
a human.
as a human. And I just think that don't give of course there can be a heartbeat, and I don't know how many weeks it takes, like 8 weeks, I think, something like that, for a heartbeat to
yeah,
be detected.
I think it was six. I don't know.
Okay,
something like
6
that.
or 8,
Could
who
be wrong.
knows? But
excuse me, but you said for a heartbeat to be detected, correct?
yes.
So it's for a heartbeat get to be detected. So that could lead. If it's for a heartbeat to be detected, then like what if
If
the
you're in a pacemaker.
someone is using like a different like technology like detect the heartbeat, like like one doctor is using like a brand new like brand new, it's very like advanced like science like technology to detect the heartbeat, and someone else is using like an older technology like and it
Oh,
probably won't catch the heartbeat.
so
All
you're
right,
asking, like,
Mike. I think you're asking the wrong question. I think you meant to ask when is it considered a human?
that's what he
No,
said.
like
No, you said
yeah,
when
like
is it a baby? It's a baby when it comes out of the womb. The question is when is it a technical a human life?
yeah,
Well,
That's the
I
it's
question.
said like human slash baby. I guess that's
yeah,
my fault
yeah.
because
What,
I said that wrong.
like he
That's
said
what
when
I
when he
determined it
when
as.
there's a detected heartbeat. But when like for what I'm bringing up right now is like, what if like if
So,
it's a detected heartbeat and that's like how people are gonna like stand out like or not like stay like this is a living human in the
s-
womb and it's alive for
okay.
like you detect a heartbeat, like what if like it's just because they're using different technology like different like versions of older or newer technologies, so you're gonna judge the woman that lives like out in the middle of like rural area, and like she just goes to the local doctor's office, and he probably won't have much too much technology to detect a heartbeat, and it detects no heartbeat, it can be aborted. But like someone in the city, like where it's like a really advanced hospital and everything, like yeah, this is differentiates like if they decide like you can't abort like after it's
Well,
detected.
here are the facts, David. Is a human life since conception.
What's that?
All right, so it's a human life since conception, when the spermatozoa
Yeah,
has distinct
that's
DNA,
what I think. Well,
and
I honestly,
it's a distinct person, distinct
Yeah,
human.
well, the
yeah, I
DNA
never thought about
the
that.
So
DNA
it
part
comes
could be
down to
debatable. Listen, the DNA part could be debatable
it
because
has
of
distinct DNA. What do you mean?
I
You
know,
have
but
distinct
listen,
DNA.
I know, but you know what else has distinct DNA? Viruses do. Viruses have their own distinct DNA, but
So
they're not
technically,
considered
is a
living
virus a
things.
human? Would a virus be alive too?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, but
I'm
you see,
saying you
but
have your
virus,
own separate DNA. It has its
So do
own separate DNA.
viruses.
It's its
not
own separate
really.
person. That's what I'm saying. So it comes down to all right. So I mean, I don't know how to word it.
Exactly.
All right,
So
so it comes down to should we be protecting human life? That's what it comes down to.
see, that's a
Should we
different
should we be
thing.
protecting human life at all forms? Is it only value? Does it only have value at some forms and not others? Does it only have value with certain characteristics? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You keep
It's
changing the question, actually. So, in
what do you
what
mean?
some ways you keep saying should it be worth and only be protected in some forms? Yeah, it
Yeah.
actually should
All right, so
because
you're saying somebody that's severely disabled doesn't have as much worth as you do?
that's not what I'm saying. Actually, you saying
What do
different
you mean?
forms. I I actually was advocating for people to be nice to these special ed kids because they're so nice. And the thing is that they could still be there. They're still there. It's just that they have a hard time conveying. What I'm saying is
Yeah.
that there are people who don't really deserve it. The serial killers, the pedophiles, those disgusting human beings, they have really no worth because they threw away their place in society in life because they're
Well,
deciding
I
to
still think
ruin
they have
it.
human worth, but I think, but those kinds of people, unless they I personally believe as a Christian, until they repent and
Who says they're
you
going to
know,
repent?
declare.
Ted
Wait,
Bundy
what?
left the court saying they were wrong. He left the court saying the jury was wrong and they
Yes,
made a
and he
mistake.
repented,
He
and he
repent
repented,
by getting murdered.
and no, he repented and took Christ as his Lord and Savior, and I, I mean,
By saying they were
me
wrong,
personally,
even
I
though he
think
was
he might be
actually
wrong.
the killer.
I think,
He killed
yeah,
multiple and brutally.
he said he was wrong, and he repented,
No, he
and
said the jury was
and he
wrong.
took
He didn't say he
Jesus
was
Christ as his
wrong.
Savior, and so
He
I
called,
believe that
no, you don't know the story.
I
He called
think he could
the
be.
jury wrong. He called the jury wrong and said they're making a mistake, and he said he'll see them in hell, is what he specifically said. And
He did.
yes, he said
Yeah, he
that.
did say that.
He said something along the lines. He's called the jury wrong and stupid, and he said he'll see them in hell.
Oh,
He's
I thought he became
no.
a Christian at that.
He
No,
didn't
I
become
think
a
you're thinking of
Christian.
someone
He
else.
literally tried to.
Maybe it's somebody else.
No, Ted Bundy murdered
No, I
multiple.
believe that. No, but I believe that no matter the mistakes you made as a Christian, uh, Jesus always has open arms to you, and if you just repent and become baptized and take him as like your Lord and Savior, then you can go to heaven. Because everybody's made mistakes, everybody's done screwed up things, and I mean, I believe that unless you repent and you um declare Jesus as your Lord and Savior and you get baptized, I think they're going to heaven either way. I don't think they're going to heaven. So it's I don't I don't know. I think
I
that
mean,
everybody has a
I
solid
I agree
chance.
with Christian on this. I mean,
Personally,
Yeah.
that's my opinion. I think that everybody
But
everybody
like,
has a solid chance.
I remember my dad told me about it, and I read it in the Bible. It's like, well, I'm sorry for getting like really like religious, but like how it works. Like, they go to heaven if they repent and they accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior. But they're probably not gonna get what's it called. There's a term like they're not gonna get like a certain crown. Like the more what's it called
Hmm.
the like if you're more dedicated to God, you believed in Him,
Hmm.
and you just did your best not to sin and everything, then you went to heaven. Then you got a higher crown, like to go to heaven. But if you were a murderer and everything, you repent last minute before your death, yeah, you're gonna go to heaven, but like you're not gonna like be in the best
Well,
situation.
I don't believe
This
you
is
can
what
earn
I
your way.
heard, but I don't know. I don't
No, I
know.
don't think you can earn your way.
No, like you don't earn your way to heaven. Like you
Yeah.
repent, you go to heaven, but like you have to earn your way, like to get like a
Mm.
better crown. It said somewhere like, in there, like in the Bible. My dad spoke with me about it, but like you don't earn your way to heaven. Repent.
Yeah.
If you physically believe that He is your Lord,
Yeah, I
yes,
mean,
you're
it's
gonna
all
go to
because of
heaven.
God's grace that you can go. I mean, yeah, that's the Christian standpoint. But if you don't mind, can I give my stance on abortion?
I guess go ahead. You're already in.
We you
All right, so basically, my stance is I believe that all human life is has value. Um, I believe that abortion is only acceptable in the case of a medical emergency. So, in the case where either both lives are gonna be lost or one of the lives will be saved, I believe that's the only case where abortion should be legal. Other than that, I think that abortion, other than those cases, I don't think abortion should be legal. I believe everybody deserves a chance, and that's about it. That's pretty
Yeah.
much it.
yeah.
See, I get where you're coming through there, but it doesn't sit right with me that it's you think everything matters
Because I mean, a
because
lot of these people they talk about choice. They talk like, yeah, I want the choice. It's my body, my choice. No, it's not your body. It's two bodies, two distinct, separate, like two distinct sets
Two
of
back,
DNA,
I
two
w-
two
halves
different
make a
people,
whole, basically.
well the
two
thing
different
is
people,
that
and I
you're
believe
not
that
carrying the child, Christian. You're not. You
doesn't
don't.
matter.
It's different
You're
for
you're arguing
females.
this. You're arguing the
What?
stance of authority, and that's flawed. You can't argue
You
over
both
authority
opinions are
because
flawed to me. They're both
I
flawed.
don't think
So, and you're just gonna say my opinion's right. I don't want to hear that right now.
no.
I'm just
I'm just
saying this
saying no.
right
This is
now. No, that's what you're saying. Just hold on a second. It's flawed in both ways, yes, but right now it's really the woman's choice because it is her body and her child. It's both of theirs,
it's two different bodies. It's two different bodies.
but still,
It's two different people.
Christian, currently that's opinionated.
yeah,
No,
The
dude,
way
she's
it's fact.
she's
There's
the
two different people.
technically
Christian, I
it's one
understand that. Like
body,
for
right,
you,
for
it's
the
a
most of
fact,
it
but like
because she's the child is attached to her what's it called?
It's attached to her,
Yeah,
but
so
it's two different
it's a
people. It's
part
two
of it.
distinct different people.
It's a part of it.
But
So
it's two
for
distinct
a
different
time,
people.
for most of the
Women don't
time,
have 40 fingers.
40 fingers. I don't
Women.
think anyone has 40 fingers.
That's the point.
When did
That's what
someone
I'm
get?
saying.
I don't remember
No, I'm saying
people having 20 fingers.
no 40 fingers. Oh
I
no 20.
I don't
Oh,
think
20
anyone has.
fingers. I'm tripping. I'm tripping right now. 20 fingers. I'm so tired right now. All right, 20 fingers. That's what I'm saying. You cannot have 20 fingers. A woman cannot have 20 fingers. What I'm saying is the child inside is a distinct person. If you're saying that they were both one person, you're saying that she has 20 fingers or 20 toes. That's not that's not how it works. They're two different people, and the government should be protecting life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And the most important one is life.
Well,
If you don't protect life, if you're gonna dehumanize people like the Nazis did with the Jews, they dehumanized them before they killed them. What a
No,
lot of
I
people are
just
doing
think.
nowadays,
hold
they're
on, hold on, hold
dehumanizing.
on, hold on,
They're
hold on.
dehumanizing. They're
Stop it right there.
dehumanizing
Just hold on,
people in the
hold
womb.
on, hold on a minute.
Hold
You
on,
may
wait. Let me finish what I'm
no
saying.
no no
I'm
no no
saying
no
they're
no 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 no
dehumanizing
no.
people in the room before they take their
No,
life.
hold on a minute.
That's
You can't just
that's
bring up
flawed.
the
That's flawed.
Holocaust. You can't. No, that's
Yes, I
not.
can.
You can't just bring up the
I mean, well,
Holocaust and
They
care.
Christian,
dehumanized. They dehumanized the Jews. They said they weren't people. They said we weren't
Exactly.
human. What does
Yes.
that sound like?
This sounds like.
Slavery did the same thing. They aren't. They're 2/3 of a person. We can do what we want with them. It's my choice. The government should give me the choice to do what I want with that person because they're not human. You guys are making the same argument with the unborn, even though they are human. You're dehumanizing them and saying I can do what I want with them because I don't want to be responsible, or
No, 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 no,
that's
no,
just what I
no.
want to do.
So what
But
you're saying? No, no,
very
no. Hold
connected
on a minute,
arguments.
Christian. Hold on. You're getting too ahead of yourself. First of all,
Why?
let's go back and hold on. You're not gonna interrupt
Okay.
me.
Okay. Sorry.
We're gonna start with your first point, the Holocaust. It was just terrible, and you're saying they
Terrible.
dehumanized them.
Absolutely
Yes,
disgusting.
but
Yes.
I feel like you have not a single right to compare a peaceful and non
Why not?
because in abortion it is a peace. It's a not harming euthanization. Euthanization is slow and
Do you
painless.
understand what an abortion is?
Yeah, I actually do, and it's
All right,
not.
so
It's
we have
painless.
second term abortions or
Well,
second or
I
third term
mean,
abortions
I can't
when
say it's like
they
not
they
painless
stick
because what they
giant tweezers in there and rip their limbs off and crush the skull and take it out.
They have
Or
no
you could
nerves
have
at
I think it's
during a point.
first or second term abortions where they give them scalene baths and it's a slow salt solution that slowly burns them to death. That's that's barbaric.
Before
And that's
the
not
nerves are
acceptable.
formed. See, you're
No,
not
they can
saying
feel it. They can feel it.
no, but
A second trimester, um, abortion, they can feel it.
yeah, that's one
They,
case. But you're comparing this. Doctors have been studying and making it as painless and as harmless and as the best they can for right now. And
or they can use the tube and suck it out.
you're comparing this that you're making it seem way worse than it really is right now, and you're blowing this out of proportion and comparing it to a mass genocide of over 6 million specific people who were in families who were seen either being stripped naked and gassed in showers, being drowned in gas, or being beat to death, or
Absolutely
being starved to
disgusting.
death, or being killed by other civilians in carriages like monkeys or zoo
Yeah,
animals.
that's absolutely I
And you're,
agree.
but
I
no,
agree,
the
dude.
thing is
You
that
know what
you're
else is
comparing that
disgusting?
to a peaceful
Barbarically killing 60
euthanization.
million unborn children.
That's the
That's
thing. They're not.
disgusting.
They don't
That's
have
also
feelings.
disgusting.
You're saying I'm gonna
Doesn't
separate this
matter.
kids.
It's still
I'm gonna
human
kill
life.
kids. I'm just gonna kill
Doesn't matter.
kids, and
It's
it's not as
still
good.
human life. The point is, it's a human life, and
Those people
so far
went
they've
through
barbarically killed over 60 million unborn children. That is
well, I
quickly
absolutely
now
and
here's what I
disgusting.
gotta
peacefully.
say. Like, don't get me wrong. I
That's not
know that the
peaceful.
topic's
Ripping its
abortion, but I
limbs
think we
apart is
also,
not
like Aiden
peaceful.
was saying before, we gotta look at the kids that are really going through a hard time and are like
Yeah,
really.
but do they
And
deserve life?
don't
Who are
get me
you
wrong.
to take their life?
Like,
Who is
of course,
Ted
the
Bundy
Holocaust was
to take
absolutely
somebody's life?
horrible, and anyone would say that with the right mind, you know. But like not only do we need to like worry about like the unborn,
We
I
have to worry
guess
about the
we also
humans that
gotta
are
look
here
at
right
like Aiden
now.
was saying, like kids that
Yes,
have like
yes, and
severe
I 100%
depression and
agree.
stuff.
I
So
agree.
you're comparing the people who were tortured for years, and no one helped them at
No, I'm
all. And you're
comparing.
saying we gotta help it right
That's
now. No, those
no.
people
I'm
weren't helped for
comparing.
years. Okay, same thing with
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
slaves.
agree.
They were tortured,
No,
killed. They were
I'm
separated from
comparing
their
that they're
families
both
for
dehumanized.
years. The slaves were for
Aiden,
hundreds of years, and
Aiden,
this is only for a little bit.
you're misunderstanding me. I'm
This
saying
is the
that they were
point you
both
said.
dehumanized. I'm saying that they were both dehumanized,
Only one was dehumanized,
and
and
that
those were the people
justified
who already
no,
had an identity and made their
they were
life in the
all
world.
dehumanized. Slaves were dehumanized. No, the Jews were dehumanized, and the unborn are being dehumanized right now.
Why you take
Disgusting scenarios.
the only thing that I see that's disgusting is that you're putting a value over things that aren't even in the world right now to people who are already in the world, who already had lives and had it
Again,
all stripped away.
I believe that all human life has
But you're
value.
putting priority
Have
on
the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and pursuit of their happiness,
the part is that really
and you're
makes
taking
me
that away from them.
pretty
Wait,
angry.
what?
You're just comparing it to people who've already had this life. They had the good life, and they were stripped away. They lost first their stuff, they lost their property, then their jobs, then their names, then their families, then their
They were
limbs.
dehumanized.
Not only dehumanized, they were murdered
Yeah.
brutally,
Yeah. Yeah, they were murdered.
mercifully. And you know what? They're also tested on. They had little Dr. Mengele
Absolutely
and his
disgusting, yeah.
twins. He made monstrosities. Yeah, you can only think of in
You know,
disgusting
there's
horror
Planned
movies.
Parenthoods that kept the bodies after they aborted them and were selling them to labs to do human research testing on.
You see, what Dr. Mengele was doing was trying just to make and have fun. He wasn't trying. He was testing out things to kill more Jews and other minorities.
Yeah,
What they're
the guy
doing with
going
the
hot-
bodies of these unborn children is to figure out when actually life happens. When does it start? They're trying to find the scientific truth to when this happens so they can
Well,
make
it's
it easier for
2020, and we have
lawmakers.
insane technology, and we now know that it is a life since conception. It is a distinct person since conception.
And you think that can be
And
done
I
without
don't-
research or lives being taken? Or things that already been thrown away? Dr. Mengele threw away lives that already had meaning. They were on the roads to being
So you
happy and
don't believe
successful.
that the unborn have meaning? They don't have value. You don't
At
believe.
first,
So
no,
what you're saying
because
is, sir, so you get to choose which people have, which humans have value. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not choosing. It's the family and the mother and father who
All right. So you
choose.
believe that people get to choose which lives have value. I mean, that's
For
that's what the
unborn
Nazis did.
childs.
They chose. They chose what lives had value. They chose that the Jews didn't. They didn't have human. They didn't have value. They weren't humans. That's what they said.
See,
Slave owners said they didn't give slaves value. They didn't believe that they had value.
what I find
did whatever they
truly
wanted them.
disgusting is that you're going to this extremist side of calling me
No, I'm
basically
not. I'm
yes,
comparing.
you're calling me a Nazi
it's
right
a s-
now. You're
I'm not
calling me a
calling you a
Nazi.
Nazi.
Hold on.
No, I'm not.
You just called me a Nazi.
No, I didn't.
You compared me to a Nazi. You basically called me a Nazi.
No, I didn't. I compared the Nazi
No.
argument and the slave owners argument and the
So you're
and the
calling me a slave
pro-abortion
owner and a
argument. That's all I did.
Nazi. So
Wait, what?
what you're doing is you're basically making me seem like a terror and a menace for what I'm stating right now. And
No, I'm
what-
just comparing
no,
arguments.
just hold on. If you're gonna keep interrupting me, then we're
Alright,
gonna have to do
alright, sorry.
something.
Okay.
You first compared me and my thoughts to being a Nazi and a slave owner, which I find disgusting. And
didn't
Mike,
compare your thoughts.
hold,
Okay,
that's what
yeah,
you did.
keep on going.
And
I compared your argument. In correction, your argument.
no, you actually said what you are thinking and what you're saying is directly what the Nazis and slave owners said, or something like that.
Well, yeah, dehumanizing. Yes, that's a direct correlation.
But I wasn't saying that. So let me ask, David, what was his comparison? I want to hear what you heard.
I can tell you right now, dehumanizing. That was it.
Hold on.
Okay, so I'm gonna be dead honest with you guys. While y'all were, I wasn't, I was listening to only half of what was going on, but I really don't. It really just happened really fast to me. Like you guys just kept going, so really, I didn't hear him physically call you a Nazi or anything.
I didn't.
Like, but
No.
I don't
didn't
think you're
say
a
he
Nazi,
called.
Ed.
No, you didn't
That's
say
what you said.
you are
you said I
Nazi.
called you a Nazi.
But listen,
You
listen,
you
listen,
compared
all
me
I
to
know-
Nazi. You compared me
No,
to
I
a Nazi.
compared your
I
argument
just
to the
think
Nazi
that,
argument.
I don't mean to take either one of your guys' side or anything. I think the big thing is that
The comparison is
what
disgusting.
of course what the
The
what?
comparison should not be made. That comparison
Really?
is out of context and is actually
No, it's
disgusting.
not.
And then you're comparing
No,
me
it's
and my
very
arguments
similar.
and my
It's the same
thoughts to
argument.
being a Nazi and a slave owner. So you're
No, I
calling
don't
me.
think you're a Nazi or a slave owner. I think your
You
argument
came-
was used by Nazis and slave owners. I believe that the argument of okay, you should decide which lives have value, and you should
You
be
see,
able
the
to
difference is
dehumanize
between
people
one
just
is
because
born and one is unborn. One already had a family and a life and is already on its way. That was already taken
Okay.
away, and it was being tested
both were
on.
human lives though. Both were human lives.
But you're
I just think that really, when it comes down to the decision, I think they really need to think. The mom and the dad need to think about.
it's the parents'
Like,
choice. That's
I
what it
just
should
really
be.
think it depends on how the person feels about abortion. I guess of course, my point of view just feels that, the families just gotta really talk about it and just see if there's any way, if the mom can just carry it for 9 months, if they really can't take care of it financially or whatever, I think they just really have to say, okay, I think we just gotta give it, just sadly have to give it up and put up for adoption. I know I keep going back to that, but that's just something I feel just strongly about.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say is that there should be the choice. It's not my choice. It's not the government's choice. It's that specific family's choice.
So
And
you should have the choice. So you should have the choice that
I don't have
if
the choice for
people.
that family. No,
I
I'm
know.
not
I'm
choosing
saying.
for
So you're
that
saying.
family. I'm only going to be choosing for my family. And if I'm having a child, I am planning to adopt because I think that is more prevalent and needed than
Good.
having more random
That's good for
children.
you, man.
But the thing
Well,
is,
now, Christian, now I just want to ask Christian this quickly. Do
I
you
mean, the
agree
choice
with what I
alone.
said?
Wait, hold up. I was gonna say. All right, yeah. What did you say?
I said, do you agree with what I said?
What did I'm a little tired tonight.
Basically, what I said was that if it really comes down whether or not they should have it, they really gotta talk it over with the family. And if the family talks about it and says, just try to hold the baby for 9 months, then put it up for adoption instead of aborting it, do you agree with what I say? Because technically, they're making the choice for the baby.
I mean, I believe that yeah, you should keep the baby. That's what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not dehumanizing it. I believe that all life has value, no matter what. And I think that choice, just being able to have the choice to do something, isn't like that great. The content of the choice is what is important. You know what I'm saying? Like you could say
Mm-hmm.
choice all day, but the content is what is important at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the content of the choice is what matters. And I don't, guys. What I was saying earlier, all I was doing was just comparing the arguments. That's all. That's all I was doing. I was just saying, in this situation with these side of humans, they were being dehumanized. In this situation, they were being dehumanized based off of this, or this. In
but
this
that's not
situation, they
what
were being
originally you
dehumanized
said.
based off
That's
or
not the
this.
original
That's what I said.
accusation. No, not that wasn't the original
Yes,
accusation of what
that's
you originally said. You said that afterwards after I called you out, but that's a different thing.
no. That's what I was saying. No, that's exactly what I was saying. I
You
was saying
explained after I
the
said that
Nazis.
you called me
Okay.
a not you accused me of being a Nazi. You
No, I
compared my
didn't.
thoughts and ideals to being a Nazi. And
I
how I treat
compared.
all humans. You said all humans. You thought I treat you thought I believe that I should be able to choose who lives and who dies. That's wrong,
I'm
and you
making. I
shouldn't
know. I'm
be
making the
comparing
argument that
abortion
people.
to that kind of
I'm saying.
stuff. There's two
I
different
was
kinds of
making the
humans right
comparison.
now. And there's the
Yeah, I was
unborn
making
and
the.
born, and those comparisons shouldn't really be a thing because they already had the full feelings. They already had a life ahead of them. And there's two different kinds of humans. There's unborn humans. I agree with that. They're still humans. But
Yes.
right now, the born humans are already there. They already have a life. They already had something. And you're just
Mm-hmm.
basically taking priority, and you can't compare all the pain they
Yes, I
went
can.
through. No, actually, because they went through so
I
much.
can compare the two situations. Yeah, what they happened to them was horrible. But again, Ian, I think you're missing what I was saying. What I am and was saying was that both
So just
situations,
comparing that
both
they're
humans,
dehumanizing, but that's not what actually is happening.
that's exactly what's happening. They're saying this
But
person isn't a human, therefore I can do what I want with them. I can have their limbs torn off. I can have them put in a scaling bath. I can have them sucked up with a vacuum. Dude, it's absolutely disgusting.
yeah,
What I'm making an okay, I'm making the right comparison. Both, all right,
that's
just hear
not.
me out. Both situations, both human, both situations were being dehumanized. Therefore, they were allowed to do what they wanted with them.
You see, the difference is that yours is unbiased. Everyone is doing it. It's allowed, and what's happening is that some people have different
You're allowed to
stances
have an
on it.
abortion in this country.
Exactly, there's freedom of choice, and the thing is that you're just saying that this unborn baby that hasn't done anything or could be grown up to be a great person or could grow up to be a serial killer. That's up to choice, but they are almost it's them being euthanized is as bad as Jews or slaves either being tortured and starved to death or being tested on and basically fused into one human by like two twins by a crazy doctor, and you're comparing that.
Yes, I believe that the destruction of all human life is equally horrible.
but really, there's two different
Yes.
things. It's horrible morally, yes, but physically, there's way more of a difference, and that's where I find the
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
divide.
obviously there's a different
And that's why
extent
you
to what
couldn't, you
happens to them that
shouldn't
was horrible.
compare it like
But
that
at
because
the end of the day,
you know
all
there's
three of
people who
them were being
survive that,
dehumanized.
and there's people who survive
Yeah,
that,
it's horrible.
the
And there's people
Holocaust.
who survived abortion too.
Yeah, so, but that's not the same thing. You see,
No, and you're just saying
no, no,
people
no.
survived what we're
People.
talking about.
I'm
Okay,
saying
people
someone.
survived it. Good for them. That was good.
You're comparing that's almost as equal as good as someone surviving an abortion. You say, oh, they almost died. That's terrible.
I think that yeah, either way, if they survived, that's a freaking amazing. Like honestly, like
How would you like to be known that you growing up as being known as a failed abortion, being called that, being known as a failed abortion? The mental
me
trauma
personally,
would wreck. Well,
I
you
think it's
just wouldn't
I
horrible, but
care.
I
mean,
have
no one
Christ as
has
my
to know.
cornerstone.
Oh, well, everything comes out, David. Everything comes out.
I mean, no, for me, I
Especially
have
in
my
these
religion.
days.
I don't. Again,
Anything can
I've
be
talked
made
about this
public.
in the past podcast. I don't put my self worth in what other people think. I put my self worth in Christ. That's what I personally believe. That's my cornerstone. That's my foundation. Nothing that anybody says matters except for what Christ thinks of me. You know what I'm saying? That's my worth. For other people, they might not have that, and they might be struggling with this kind of stuff. But for me personally, as long as I have Christ, that's all that matters.
See, in that way, you're being selfish and not really saying, oh, for me, it's all right, but so that means it's fine.
No, I never said it's fine. I said that they're in a tough situation, but for me personally,
Yeah,
if I was in
it's
that
okay.
situation
So
where I
at least
survived an
I'm
abortion,
good. That's
I
what
have
I'm
Now I
getting
Christ
here.
guess
as my
I
foundation.
gotta say this about this. Now being called the failed abortion,
That
I
would be
guess going
degrading.
my way. I don't mean to act like Mr. Optimistic about this, but I mean if you really think about it, I mean
You have worth.
you
I mean,
really like survived from dying. I don't mean to act
yeah.
like, Mr. Happiness all the time and, stuff like that, but really again, I would kind of see that as a good thing because you really came out of that, alive, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
See,
And
I
even if
agree
you
with
weren't a
that.
don't get
believer,
me
you
wrong,
Don't.
could
that could
say,
hurt someone mentally being called a failed abortion. Don't get me wrong.
I
yeah,
That
get
could
definitely.
that.
really hurt
See, the
someone.
only gripe I have is this comparison between a national, world tragedy, between just a medical procedure. That's what I'm really
Well,
finding the divide.
both included the destruction of human
See,
life.
just saying 2 is equal to 2, it's like apples to apples. All right,
I'll
that's
be
how you're
gonna
doing it.
compare the amount of destruction. I would say abortion has 10 times the amount of destruction of human life. What are you trying to argue, Aiden?
Those people already had lives. They had families. They already were on their track. They're already given their purpose. They're already on it. They were
Yeah.
in this world already. That's the thing I'm saying here is that those people are already in the world right now. People, those unborn weren't even put into the
But they're
world. They
equal.
weren't. That's
Okay.
not the point. All right, they were already in. They didn't have to suffer years of tragedy just to die a horrible death. Okay,
Yeah, it's horrible.
but
And it
that's
all
not
happened because they're
equal and
dehumanized.
doesn't deserve to be compared
No,
because I would
I'd say
so
they
you're
both
saying
were
oh yeah so
dehumanized.
basically you did nothing and good you should you deserve medal for surviving an abortion while a Holocaust survivor is sitting there with PTSD and like
No,
old and frail.
I'm
That's
I'm
you're
saying that
comparing it that to
they
one
both
survived through willpower
deserve
and the other
help,
survived through luck. All right, that's what I'm saying. You're just saying that oh it's all right.
and they're both equal. No, they're both equal
That's actually wrong.
as humans.
One
As
person
humans, what happened to them wasn't the same, but as
that's
humans, they were equal. They both did.
it's all
How
about
do I word this?
the choice.
Now, I guess I just want to I want to change the topic because this is getting a little tense.
It's
But
heated, yeah.
I just want to ask this one question. Now, if someone had an abortion and it was for, let's say, rape.
Yeah.
Now, how would you? And let's say it was a 14-year-old girl,
Yeah.
and the person that raped him was 40 something.
Yeah.
How do you guys look at it that way? Do you think that do you think an abortion would be right? Do you think it would be?
It's all up to
What do
choice.
you guys think about it?
Alright,
It's the girl's
honestly, when it
decision.
comes to that,
It's the girl's
no,
decision.
I mean, if she can't physically carry it, then don't carry it. I mean, this might sound horrible of me, but if they can actually carry it, I still believe that life is valuable and has a purpose.
Yeah.
That's me personally. I wouldn't take its life. Um, Man, this is the time.
Aiden, you still really believe that's still the woman's choice.
See, all of it is really just depending on the woman's choice. And
Yeah.
if
And I'm not.
she talks
and
over
of
with her
course, I'm not,
family and she's like, I want to
judging
raise
anyone
this kid,
about this. I was just curious.
she can raise it. And if she says, I don't want to raise it, this is too bad, I'm emotionally and mentally scarred, then she should be
So you
able
believe in
to.
choice.
Exactly. Yes.
Alright, so you're about choice. Okay, so
Because
okay, here we
I'm
go
not
again.
I'm not in the
Slave
place of that
owners.
person.
I should be allowed to have the choice to have a slave. Do I want a slave? Maybe. Me personally, no. They were given the choice and they wanted the choice to be able to have slaves. Just the matter of the choice. What I'm saying is very deeply important. Just
So
having
you
the choice itself isn't that great. The matter of a choice is always important. Like people, yeah, they're always talking about, yeah, I want to have the choice to do this. The government should give me the choice to do this. But the matter of the choice is what matters. Just not just being able to have the choice.
Well, the thing is, I don't think you can get raped and have a child. That's what I don't get. You can't have this. It's not
That's
fair of you to have such a strong point, even though you're not the one going through the emotional trauma of being
Dude,
raped
I
by
feel
a
horrible for
old
those
man.
people. That's freaking disgusting what happened to those.
So
And
that's
the
so you
rapists should be
shouldn't be
castrated and given life. They should be castrated and given life.
but right now it should just be Micah. I fully agree. It should usually. I hope it would go to adoption, but all in all, it's not the government's choice. It's not my choice. It's theirs. I shouldn't be
Yeah.
put restrictions on it. It's what they want to do. If they want to give birth to a baby and put up for adoption, awesome. If they want to keep the baby, awesome. If they want to abort it, that's too bad. But it's not my right to go in and say, never mind, you're forced to have this baby and either take care of it or adopt it. Haha.
Mm-hmm. And I guess I'm not in this way. I'm not trying to say I'm pro-choice. Like I'm not trying to say that, but I
I'd rather
just
have a
think
baby be
that.
adopted and put into adoption.
I
It's
missed
just
what you
rough
said.
for the kids who were already been in the adoption program. That's why it's bad.
Mhm.
It's terrible either way, and that's why really this
Yeah.
all comes down is the American people and just people in general being more smarter about this. Because all these
Mhm.
like terrible
Yeah.
like like these comparisons and all this stuff shouldn't really be a thing because people should already be smart enough. The education's out there. It's all out there, and it's really just a neglect. Because the 1% like you're talking about, that is terrible. But the most of it's actually just people being dumb, and that I find stupid and disgusting. People are
People
just
should be
wasting it.
educated. It shouldn't come down to the
I
choice
know
of
they got
abortion.
pay attention in health class.
Man.
If it hurts the pee,
Yeah,
call the doctor
I just don't
immediately.
want you to think. I just don't want you to think I was calling you a Nazi or anything because I was just simply comparing the arguments earlier of dehumanization and what can happen when you dehumanize
Okay.
people. That's pretty dangerous. That's all. That's
Just I just the words you're using are strong, and I think aren't appropriate.
what do you mean?
There's just probably better comparisons you can use that aren't as strong, and that's I don't think, at least for the I guess in for slaves, I guess because slaves didn't always die in such terrible deaths because a lot of them
No.
got freed. But like comparing
Yeah.
it to the Holocaust is not right. I think the slave part
No.
is more right than you just compare it to the Holocaust.
Yeah, they all died in completely different horrible ways. Horribly. Oh yeah, what happened to the Jews is freaking disgusting and horrible. And those Nazis deserve to rot in hell. But what I'm saying is,
I don't think they.
but what I'm saying is, in all three instances, they all dehumanized that certain group of people, and therefore they could do what they wanted with them. You know what I'm
I
saying?
guess I gotta say something about this.
They justified what they were doing by dehumanizing them, and it's
Now, I
very
can be
dangerous.
really hated for saying that,
Mhm.
but don't get me wrong. You know, everyone with the right mind say the Nazis were horrible people. They did horrible things with the Holocaust and just, the whole World War. But I think to say they should rot in hell, I think as long as they, of course, that if they repent and they,
Yeah, I
turn to
agree.
Jesus, then they should, they'll go to heaven. I just don't.
Yeah,
And
but for the people
I'm
that
not
didn't
saying
do
I'm
that
not
and they
backing
stuck
up the
Jews in gas
Nazis at all.
chambers,
I'm
you know
not
what I'm
trying to
saying?
say that, but
Yeah, I'm just saying the ones that didn't repent and they put Jews in gas chambers and tortured them and crap, those people deserve to go to hell, bro.
Most Nazis were in a kind of a cult, so I don't think most of them
Yeah,
did. It was
Yeah,
like a
Nazis
cult
really
kind of
you,
were a
thing.
cult.
dude. Yeah, true, that's true. But I mean, you also have what you don't. If somebody told me you
There's
have to
German
stick these
soldiers
people
and
in a gas
Nazi
chamber,
soldiers. Nazis was a different group. German soldiers and
Nazis. That's what I
Nazis.
meant. Sorry, not,
Because
not
Nazi
yeah, Nazis.
soldiers, yes.
If somebody,
Because I don't think they were really actually Christian. They were in some sort of cult kind of thing. Is why.
yeah, they're
yeah.
screwed
And like
up.
the other thing that like Hitler did to
I felt
them
bad for those
is that
people
he
too.
made them drink a bunch of alcohol, so basically it
Yeah,
numbed them. So then, basically when they did that stuff, it
and
wouldn't affect.
drugs. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it depends on the person too. But I mean, if somebody was to put a gun up to my head and say, "Stick these people in a gas chamber, or else I'm gonna shoot you in the head," I'd say, "Shoot me in the head." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of person that would go down in history. I'm not the kind of person that would stick people in gas chambers. I'd rather die than put people through that kind of trauma.
Exactly.
So they still had the choice to whether or not they wanted to go along with that. And so a lot of them were raised up, and a lot of them were brainwashed and
Yeah, a
By the
lot of
Nazi
were
propaganda.
drugged up,
summer
really
camps,
drugged up, and
basically.
that's really freaked
Lots
up
of
too.
propaganda.
Yeah, a lot of propaganda. But
I see. The thing is that I'm more neutral because I honestly, if you want to be on, like, if I'm gonna be completely honest and just straight on, this doesn't affect me. So my say really is just how I can think of it and perceive it. But really,
Yeah.
my word doesn't really matter. Because the only person
Yeah.
here that I think has a true say is Micah because there was a direct effect and correlation.
Now,
That's my
like
true feeling.
I
Dude,
can tell like
okay.
I've gotten into a debate with someone, and I've told them, my story, and they're like, "Oh, your story doesn't matter at all," and I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, I think it matters a lot, because basically, if my mom wanted to, she probably could have a backstreet abortion if she wanted to, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't be here today.
That's
And
messed
like I
up.
said, the
Like,
reason why I'm saying backstreet abortion is because in South
They weren't
Korea,
legal.
abortion is illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now,
But
I think they're changing the law in South Korea now. So I think now abortion is legal in South Korea. So
Well,
but I
that's
don't
that
think
actually
that I
no.
don't think you have to
What's
be a
really
woman
messed.
or some. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Well, like what I was trying to say, like it's really messed up. Like no one, like in any argument or debate, like say your like story doesn't matter, because that like honestly like really, that's one main way like that strives for your like opinion, like who
Mhm.
you are, like your story.
yeah,
Like so for anyone like to say like, oh Micah, like I don't care, your story doesn't matter. That's like horrible and messed up.
Screwed up.
yeah. And I guess the other thing I actually hate is when people say, "Oh, your parents told you that, didn't they?" No, like they didn't. It wasn't. It wasn't my parents that said, "Oh, you should be against abortion because you got that."
Mm.
No, they didn't say that. I thought this, this is my own mind because it's how I was, affected by. Like I earlier, without me being adopted, I'd be in South Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was pretty
I
intense. It was a.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I just
that
We're
was
running out of
really
time
intense.
here.
I
That's
don't
the
believe.
thing.
Yeah,
We're
sorry. I
already
just
over our
don't believe
time.
that.
We're like 20
I
minutes
don't
over
believe in
time.
argument of authorities.
Whoa, wait,
I don't
what time?
believe
Sorry.
that. I don't believe that you should have. I don't believe that
Yeah, we're not that
you
bad.
can only have a
We're
valid
20
opinion
minutes,
because of authority.
David.
I don't believe in that. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, guys.
I say we could go
Today's a
further,
longer
but
episode. That's okay.
but
But yeah, I'm just saying. I don't
Yeah.
believe. I don't think that you can only have a valid argument if you have an argument authority. I believe that anybody should be able to stand up for anybody, no matter how big or how small or how developed or undeveloped.
Okay.
All
Like
right.
I said,
Well.
police are police.
All right.
But
Well,
we're
we're
over time
let's
here.
be honest. Yeah.
That's okay.
Well,
That's all right.
I'm gonna try to go quick then. All right. Well, let's all be honest. That was a really heated argument.
Yeah, David, go
Look, some
quick because
interesting
I
art.
don't want to edit all of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I don't want to stay
So
up.
okay. So basically, I'm gonna go like I'm not gonna have 10. I have less. I'm gonna go look through most of them that are interesting. All right. But I'm not gonna go
Top
through all
3.
10. But anyways, all 3. Oh boy, this makes it even a harder choice for me. All right. 1, 2. Let's see. That one's pretty funny. 3. I'll do that one. That's pretty funny. All right. So due to the coronavirus and like a lot of stores and everything just being and like businesses closing down, thieves took advantage of this and they stole a Vincent Van Gogh painting worth millions last week.
Saw that.
Yep.
That's just really interesting. Like I wondered, like personally, I wonder how this is gonna like go on and like how it's gonna like
Vincent
maybe
Van
like start a
Gogh
chain event.
ate lead paint, so
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Where's the next one? No, I'm saving that one for last. All right. Another one that's pretty cool. Disney's reportedly making a movie remake of Robin Hood, possibly what I'm gonna think is a live action.
Dang.
so like the animals or like the
I
like
don't
you
know.
know the animal
Like-
one with, like the fox and the other fox?
Yeah.
Is it gonna
Yeah.
be that one? So is it gonna be like cats?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if
Hope
it's gonna be like cats, but hopefully not. All right. This one was really funny. So, a man was accused of scamming several pizza restaurants with fake large pizza orders for the police.
Oh, that's nice.
And so he's in trouble.
Oh, gosh.
So he's going around ordering pizzas. Say, oh yeah, to the police station, like larger pizzas. Then the pizza guy shows up, and then the guys go, "Hey, ordered a pizza," and no one did. Just leads to interesting stuff.
Pizza time.
It's pizza time, really. Is.
All right.
Hey,
So we're gonna go to our
Yep.
recommendation for today, and
Yeah.
I think we're gonna go to back what Christian and I did in our original episode. Let's all recommend a song. I'm gonna start here. So I watched the Beatles movie. I think it was like yesterday. I watched a little bit of that. That's nice. So I'm like, oh, a good
that's
Beatles
awesome.
song. I was gonna do maybe
Yeah.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds because that's one of my favorite ones.
Haha.
All right,
LSD.
of course, Christian, you can go next.
Whole Heart from Hillsong United.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't recommend that one last week, but
No,
if
you
I
didn't
switch
recommend
the
that
two
one.
up, all right, yeah. All right, so
All
that's
right,
it.
David, go.
Me? Yeah, I'm in my Spotify right now, and I don't have much that I would recommend because people would just look at this and say this is all trash.
So we're just
But-
recommending
It's a
songs.
recommendation. Come on.
All right. So y'all know the song "City Angels" by what's his name? That one rapper. But honestly, the song is
That one
the song's
rapper.
okay. But you should listen to "City of Angels" Illusion.
I'm getting.
That one literally it bops. It's a good time.
It bops, quote unquote. And Micah,
What's up?
what's your suggestion for a song?
Probably We Didn't Start the Fire.
Billy Joel.
That's
Michael
quite a
loves
classic
that
one.
Billy Joel.
Hey,
I
we're gonna make a "We Didn't Start the Fire" too, so just wait for that.
know that song
That's-
by heart. I
But Aiden, what do
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah. There's "We Didn't Start the Fire" too. Will probably be a thing soon. So, yeah, I think that was a good thing for today. So, I'm gonna end it off.
Oh,
Today.
hold up, and one last thing I just want to say. Sorry, Ted Bundy did convert in Death Row.
Yeah.
TED Monday.
I'm not surprised.
What
Man.
a way
A
to
lot,
end it.
Yeah,
a
seriously,
lot
man.
of like a lot of people usually do like convert like or like
What else
repent
they gotta
during like
do?
death
They have
row.
nothing else.
So,
Like,
Michael, we'll find
sure.
out.
Yeah, so today was a longer episode, so I apologize for that. So whoever's still listening, I thank you for staying here this long. If you could give a good rating or a shout out to other people to come and listen to the podcast. We're on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. We got our YouTube channel. Go check that out. Leave a like and subscribe for more content. And we might be releasing other stuff, and there could be other channels. Who knows what the future holds? Because we got a lot of time, and I don't think we're gonna be getting back to normal life anytime soon. So that's all I have for today. You guys have been great. Thank you so much, Micah, for being here. It's been a
Yo, I want to
blast.
come back, you know. So whenever you got another podcast, just tell me. I want.
Yeah.
Of course, of course. Thank you all
It'll be
for
fun.
listening. Have a good day, evening, night, or whenever you're listening. This has been your daily dose of C.A.D. I'm Maine West. Peace.